what I wanted to go through is the design core work that we've been doing. Some of you may remember, or for those who are new to this, we at the Learning Games Network have been building bridges between research and what teachers are doing in the classroom with video games, and how developers are actually developing tools. And one of the things that is very hot right now is this idea of getting kids making games. And so there are a variety of tools such as Flash and Scratch, Game Salad that have emerged that, while on the one hand put tools for game creation into the hands of young people, the challenge is that they don't often know how to actually design. And so we've developed a framework that actually enables teachers to bring the idea of game design into their classrooms as an alternative to writing a traditional research paper or making a traditional class, or creating a traditional class presentation. So we've created, we have this hypothesis that as teachers try to engage kids and ask them to take a deep dive into learning, say in this instance, the question in front of you is the idea of how you fix damaged nerves. How do you get a young person to dig into that and really engage with the content and explore it in a really meaningful way that leads to deep understanding? And so we've developed, the concept here obviously is that through game design and doing some research, actually developing a game concept, presenting it to their peers, and then testing it if they make it as far as digital prototyping, that we create a really interesting opportunity not only for the student to engage with content in a very different way, but we also enable the teacher to adjust their, rethink their teaching strategies, which is, again, I think why we're part of the Pedagogy 3.0 program. So through Design Core, through Game Design Core, what we're looking to do is kind of change the relationship between teachers and students, getting teachers to think of themselves more as mentors and coaches, and having students actually own the technology expertise. So by working together to explore game design concepts and doing the research and walking through our process, we hope that we are not only getting the kids to engage with the content that they need to learn in a much different way, much more substantive way, but we're also creating a pathway for teachers to explore how they can, rather than being the sage on the stage or the holder of all knowledge, that they can adjust how they teach and can become more of a collaborator with their students as they go through this process. We've been through the grant with HP. We've actually been creating and expanding the framework so that very specifically we walk the teachers over the course of a series of webinars and videos and online curriculum materials that we do. We walk them through this process where the kids actually go through kind of identifying their learning goals, coming up with their creative context and concept, thinking through the various game mechanics, which is a very exciting part of the activity for them, because it helps them make connections between the things that they like to do in their free time and in popular culture, and with the games that they play. It helps them bring that vocabulary, those grammars, etc., into their learning, and looking at a topic like those damaged nerves from 360 degrees. So we walk them through this. The way we've recommended with teachers that they do this, and in working as part of the grant through the state of Kentucky, it's typically over several months that we implement this. We ran our first pilot in Kentucky last school year. We're expanding the pilot this year to do more of an implementation and kind of actually work on the research component of the grant through the Student Technology Leadership Program in Kentucky. What we saw is that, that kids and teachers who go through the process have much more substantive game concepts. They're much more attuned to the learning goals and actually the learning topics, based on the results of the pilot and looking at the rubrics that teachers were using last year. And then the early feedback from teachers is that, while the frameworks are very helpful, they actually need to see what it looks like, because it's a very it can be, for teachers who aren't used to playing games, it can be a very daunting experience. And so the way they implement it into the classrooms is that, there are a variety of ways for them to begin the research, either through textbook assignments, lectures. We actually have created this idea of a spark table, if it's a general purpose activity through an after-school club, or if it's part of a semester-long science research project. We get the teachers to kind of get the kids asking very specific questions about everyday things. And over the course of a semester, instead of working on a research project or a research paper, they actually work on discrete activities through the process over the course of a semester, or depending on how the teacher decides to integrate it. Then they, through the lesson plans that we have, which walk them through not only how to begin conversations around games and bringing those games and making the connections to the learning goals. We have a series of worksheets that the students do online. We have a series of videos that we have taped at various programs that we have run locally, again, to create that content so that teachers can actually see what it looks like in the classroom. And so here you see, and I apologize for the slides there. Apparently my fonts didn't translate over to Samantha's machine. And then in terms of preparing teachers, what we're doing is it's a combination of webinars where we do check-ins with them, as well as videos that they can actually see what works in the classroom. That was one of the things that we got in running the pre-pilot, is that teachers, it's an abstraction in terms of getting teachers to see how it fits into the flow of their teaching. And so there are two things that we've been focused on. One is actually getting them to see images like this and understanding the process, but also leading up to, and this is what we'll implement this year, following this year's, what happened was last year, the winners, the winning teacher and the students out of the Kentucky program came up to MIT and worked with us for a week this summer to see it in hand. That was a model that we've developed, that as teachers and students go through this process this coming year in Kentucky, we will actually then host some professional development camps in Kentucky for the teachers next year, so that we can scale it with a larger number of teachers. We're also looking at, and I'm just showing you images through this this process as the kids go through it, that kind of framework I outlined before. But ultimately, in order to scale this, we're trying to make sure that there's a certain number of key features and online activities, including a community that we're looking at developing with our partners at Fablevision this coming year. But that we're able to support, through a variety of media, posted lesson plans, and a community of best practices with teachers working on this. Things will that's an effort to help this scale. And so you can just kind of see the whole spectrum there. And then again, as a reminder of the process, part of the way we support them very specifically is through a NING that we run with the teachers, where they're asked to submit their materials and their what the kids are developing. We have a pre-survey that they do that Jennifer Groff, who is the principal investigator on the project, is managing. These are the series of worksheets, and again, we'll post those. Those are available through our Learning Games Network site. Just as examples, these are the lesson plans, just as an example of those. And then ultimately, Jen's focus on the research this year is actually looking at both the students as well as what the teachers are doing in terms of their practice. And so the focus this year is really to understand some of the elements of how this is really changing their teaching. So that's basically it. We'll have the materials up this year. So if up this coming week. So if folks are looking for just exactly how we're mapping this, that'll be great. But in addition to what we've been doing with the HP Catalyst grant in Kentucky, we're also very active in figuring out how to scale this with our partners at Fablevision here in Boston, which is a game development and interactive media studio that focuses on education.